The 1932 Burney Streamliner was not merely another luxury car from the Depression era. It was a radical aircraft-inspired streamliner designed by airship pioneer Sir Denniston Burney that attempted to function as a mobile home on wheels, arriving decades ahead of modern recreational vehicles and roomy family minivans. In an age when most automobiles were tall, upright, noisy sedans with cramped cabins, exposed running boards, and rigid 4- or 5-seat arrangements, the Burney dared to look and behave like something from the future. It had a sleek teardrop aero body with dramatically rounded contours, no protruding fenders or hood, and a revolutionary rear engine layout. This eliminated the driveshaft tunnel and created a cavernous interior seating 7 passengers in lounge-like comfort, with high ceilings, plush furnishings, and living room luxury that turned every journey into a civilized experience. At its core, the Burney embodied a bold vision of self-contained family mobility in the harsh 1930s. It was literally trying to replace a house with a car. It offered quiet, spacious travel on Britain's primitive roads long before such ideas became commonplace. To grasp the revolutionary essence of the 1932 Burney Streamliner, one must first immerse in the harsh realities of early 1930s Britain amid the Great Depression. The nation was still reeling from the 1929 Wall Street crash, with unemployment soaring past 2 million and consumer spending in freefall. Automobiles remained basic and utilitarian. Tall, upright machines like the Austin 7 or Morris Cowley were noisy, cramped, and inefficient on a network of primitive, mostly unpaved roads, lacking modern highways or service stations. Long-distance travel was exhausting and unpredictable, far removed from the comfort many families craved. Enter Sir Denniston Burney, a true aviation genius whose background perfectly positioned him to challenge the status quo. Best known as the designer of the magnificent R-100 airship at Vickers, Burney had mastered lightweight structures, aerodynamics, and passenger comfort at altitude. In 1929, he founded Streamline Cars Limited in Maidenhead, Berkshire, with a clear mission to apply the same aircraft principles to road vehicles, creating silent, spacious cars that could truly replace a house for the traveling elite. The Streamliner's conception began with prototypes in 1929, hand-built not for mass production, but as rolling showcases for Burney's revolutionary patents. This unfolded amid the rising Streamline modern movement, which celebrated fluid, wind-cheating forms as symbols of progress in a stagnant economy. Yet economic hardship kept the venture niche. Priced at around £1,500, equivalent to a small mansion, the cars were strictly for the wealthy. Later licensing to Crossley Motors in 1934 produced additional examples, but the Burney Streamliner remained a daring experiment, proving that even in the darkest economic times, one visionary could reimagine the family car as a mobile home. At the heart of the 1932 Burney Streamliner's brilliance lay its groundbreaking design and engineering, a daring fusion of aircraft technology and automotive ambition that transformed the family car into a genuine mobile home. Sir Denniston Burney, drawing directly from his experience with the R-100 airship, created an extreme aerodynamic teardrop body that looked nothing like the upright boxes of its day. Fabric-covered aluminum panels were stretched over a lightweight steel space frame, forming a smooth, wind-cheating shape roughly 18 to 20 feet long, with a wheelbase of 12 feet 5 inches. The entire vehicle weighed around 4,250 pounds, surprisingly light for its cavernous proportions, thanks to aircraft-style construction that prioritized strength without excess mass. The body's flowing contours, rounded nose, and minimal front overhang were no styling gimmick. They slashed aerodynamic drag to levels unseen in the 1930s road cars. The underside was fully paneled, creating a clean underbelly that further reduced turbulence, while the lack of running boards or protruding fenders gave the Streamliner a sleek, integrated silhouette. This was pure aviation thinking applied to the highway. Every curve was calculated to improve stability and efficiency at speed. Power came from a rear-mounted engine, a choice that defined the entire vehicle. Early examples used a custom Beverly Barnes 3-liter straight-8 overhead cam unit, producing approximately 80 horsepower. Later cars experimented with Lycoming 6-cylinder or Armstrong Siddeley engines, all tucked behind the rear axle. Because the engine lived at the back, twin radiators were mounted up front, connected by long coolant pipes that ran the full length of the car, an ingenious but complex solution. Drive went through a Wilson pre-selector gearbox, an advanced epicyclic transmission operated by a small lever and pedal, giving the driver aircraft-like precision without the usual heavy linkage. The rear engine layout delivered two huge benefits. It created a completely flat floor with no drive shaft tunnel and pushed the passenger cabin forward, giving the Streamliner its extraordinary interior space. Yet this came with a trade-off, an extreme rear weight bias of roughly 75 to 80%. The car handled with a distinct character, planted and stable in straight lines, but requiring careful inputs in corners. Burney accepted the compromise because silence and roominess mattered more than conventional sports car agility. Chassis innovation matched the body. Fully independent suspension used transverse leaf springs at all four corners, delivering a remarkably supple ride on Britain's rough roads. Hydraulic brakes provided strong, progressive stopping power, while aircraft-style cable controls linked the steering and gear mechanisms with feather-light precision. Spare wheels were cleverly housed inside the rear doors. One side even concealed a cocktail cabinet for the ultimate touch of luxury on long journeys. Performance was impressive for the era, with a top speed of 76 to 80 miles per hour and fuel economy around 21 miles per gallon, thanks to the slippery shape and lightweight construction. The Streamliner could cruise all day at 60 miles per hour in hushed comfort, something almost impossible in contemporary sedans. In 1934, Streamline Cars Ltd licensed the design to Crossley Motors, which produced refined versions with minor mechanical tweaks while preserving the core philosophy. These later cars proved the concept's durability, but the fundamental engineering choices remained pure Burney. Every detail served the same radical goal: aerodynamics for effortless efficiency and stability, the rear engine layout for silent spaciousness, and a flat, house-like floor. The Burney Streamliner was never meant to be a conventional automobile. It was engineered as a rolling residence, quiet, roomy, and self-contained, proving that a family car could literally replace a house on the road. Beyond its radical engineering, the 1932 Burney Streamliner's true legacy unfolded in its operational life, when it was marketed as the ultimate luxurious family living room on wheels for long-distance comfort. Owners treated the cavernous cabin as a rolling residence, enjoying silent, high-speed cruising, generous headroom, and self-contained luxury that made hotels unnecessary. One of the most prestigious examples was loaned in 1931 to the Prince of Wales, later Edward VIII, who used it for private tours and appreciated the refined ride and spacious interior that turned even lengthy journeys into civilized affairs. In real-world use, the Streamliner excelled on extended trips across Britain and the continent, showcasing its quiet operation, excellent visibility, and thoughtful details like the rear door cocktail cabinet. Despite the eye-watering price of around £1,500, equivalent to a small country house or a top-tier Rolls-Royce in an era when average annual incomes were under £200, the car delivered genuine self-sufficiency that justified the cost for affluent buyers seeking to escape the Depression's constraints. Production was extremely limited. Only about 12 to 13 original Burney Streamliners were hand-built between 1929 and 1932, followed by roughly 25 more under Crossley license. The high cost of bespoke construction and the economic climate kept numbers tiny, yet every example proved remarkably reliable, logging thousands of miles with minimal issues for those wealthy enough to own one. For a fortunate few, the Burney truly succeeded in its bold ambition, replacing a house with a car on the open road. The Burney Streamliner's fate was sealed when Streamline Cars Ltd closed its doors in 1936, overwhelmed by the lingering effects of the Great Depression and the prohibitive cost of hand-built construction. The original Burney examples largely disappeared over the decades. None are confirmed to survive intact today. Fortunately, a handful of the later Crossley licensed versions endured as precious artifacts of this audacious experiment. Several remain preserved in prominent collections. The National Motor Museum at Beaulieu proudly displays a magnificent 1934 Crossley Burney Streamline, one of only 3 known survivors, while others rest in private UK collections, occasionally emerging for major concourse events and exhibitions. Yet the Streamliner's true legacy far outlives its physical scarcity. It proved the viability of rear-engine aerodynamic design and expansive family space concepts decades before the Tatra 77, the Volkswagen microbus, or the modern minivan and recreational vehicle movements. Its ideas echoed through later streamlining efforts, even as its extreme rear weight bias and handling quirks served as valuable lessons for future engineers. In the end, the Burney Streamliner stands as a singular, flawed but brilliant experiment in turning a car into a house on wheels, an extraordinary vision that dared to redefine family mobility long before the world was ready. The 1932 Burney Streamliner endures as a testament to visionary engineering that dared to merge aviation brilliance, luxury appointments, and domestic comfort, proving that bold individuals like Sir Denistune Burney could reimagine the car itself as a home. In the depths of the 1930s, it imagined the future of family mobility long before recreational vehicles, minivans, or spacious family haulers became reality, showing that true innovation often begins with one audacious vision. If you value rare machines that challenged conventions and pushed the boundaries of what vehicles could be, do not forget to subscribe and stay with the channel. Stories like this remind us that the future is often imagined long before it becomes reality.